Martin Guptill twice playing out in front and chipping it to mid-off and mid-on. Williamson plays it right behind him almost with soft hands, and he's going to need that skill today.
Inch one.
Really keen on looking for the singles, Kane Williamson. He's done really well since he's come out. He's been very proactive at trying to keep the score rotating, and when it's challenging to score runs on a ground and on a pitch, then really keeping the strike rotating with those singles becomes even more critical.
Pitched outside. Pitched outside leg. Chance though. Oh! Hit and he was gone. Two opportunities there.
Well, it was full. And that's what England have got to debate. Was it outside? I reckon it was. Munro thought he was struggling. That's why he ran. And a direct hit and he was gone. And England and Joe Root miss.
Just got in that panic mode because he'd been hit on the pads.
It's frenetic, isn't he? I mean, compared to 2020 cricket when he's very calm. High.
Might be safe. It will be safe. Another opportunity.
This is just a chaotic innings from Munro. The shortest form of the game, 2020, which is frenetic. You think sometimes batsmen lose the plot. 50 over game. He's just come out swinging. He's nearly been out run out. He's chipped it up in the air. He's swung at a few outside off stump. No one can get there. Yorkies running from everywhere. They couldn't get there.
A little disappointed that Kane Williamson's facing. It's been, he looks far too conventional after the rest of that over. Just indicating there, as we'd thought, ball pitching outside the leg stump. So that's why there was no review for the LBW.
Nicely bowled. 4 runs from the over. 19 for 1. The only thing he hasn't had yet was a little inside edge back towards the stumps.
Kane Williamson's got a role to play here. He's buzzing at the other end, Munro. Williamson has just had a little word. Come on, you're good enough. We've seen you play. You're a class player. Just a couple of overs and you'll be the rhythm.
I want to tell him to come down the pitch and try and hit him over the bowler's head, actually.
Well, I think he is coming down the pitch a fraction. That's why Wood surprised him with the bumper. Both these bowlers have a quick bumper. Chris Woakes, he might look like he's just a, medium fast at times, but his bouncer is seriously fast, and he uses it well in one-day cricket. And he'll note, and England will note, that Munro's just shimmying down the pitch a fraction.
Well, he also looked from that last shot as if he's standing well out of his crease.
There you go. You got your wish, Debbie, but it's got a bat full of fresh air.
Well, I was meaning come down the pitch and connect it and go for 6, of course.
Well, this was a carbon copy, wasn't he? Apart from the nick of Hamilton, is exactly what he did to Wopes at Hamilton and nicked it.
When he comes down, though, he's real cross-batting it, isn't he? I was meaning more of, you know, trying to play with a slightly straighter bat. Easy for me to say.
Slow delivery.
But Dooley's obviously been given this role. Otherwise, someone would have dragged him to one side by now and said, you know what, you're a pretty good player, young man. You don't need to tee off every ball, but he is.
Yeah, I don't think they tell him to tee off. He's trying to create a strike rate. I think this is the Nick you were just talking about, a little more carry in Hamilton. He's trying to create a strike rate, but I think the feeling from a lot of us, Nasser, is he's a better player. He's a better player. You don't average in excess of 50 at the first-class level without being a decent player.
So why hasn't someone told him that and said, just go and bat? The days of the pinch hitter have gone. You're just a proper opening batsman.
Yeah, look, maybe they have. Pretty good setup in that New Zealand backroom staff with Mike Hesson and Craig McMillan. I'm sure they're not trying to say change your game, but just bat sensibly. You'll get enough deliveries to put away because you're powerful enough. Just don't perhaps go searching. That one away for 1. Single off the last ball of the over. A good one from Wokes, 20 for 1. New Zealand fans in the crowd. White Ferns cap on that young lady we just saw taking on the West Indies series in New Zealand.
Starts tomorrow, actually.
Tomorrow, yeah. Covering 2 of those matches live on Sky in the break between the one-day internationals finishing and the test matches starting. So that break between the 11th and the 21st of March. Show you a couple of those one-day internationals between New Zealand White Ferns, New Zealand women's cricket team, and the West Indies.
Ian Smith will be having a moan somewhere about the shadow. Where was it? Hamilton. He was having a moan saying how unfair it was on New Zealand that they had a shadow across the pitch as they were batting. Shadow straight across the pitch now. Just to add to the woes of Munro as he tries to get in and tries to bat for a couple of overs.
Aerial away over the top. Pick up 4 more, Munro.
That was a little bit more controlled. The ones that he's just thrown the kitchen sink at, he's missed. He just waited a little bit longer and there was a bit more control about this.
He did. I was just thinking the same thing. He just waited a fraction of an inch longer. That was enough time. He played it much more sort of in line with his body, didn't he? Almost at 90 degrees rather than pushing out in front of him. Deliberately aerial, which was quite appropriate. Got a good boundary there.
Okay, no, Nasser, it was width, wasn't it? Too much width on this surface, I think, from Mark Wood.
Yeah, that's my point about Wood. A lot of people saying, great, England have picked Wood. He's got an extra yard of pace on this surface. When actually what you want on this surface is your most accurate bowler. Don't really worry about pace. It's your most accurate bowler. Colin de Grandhomme didn't have any pace, but he had the best figures at the end of 50 overs.
edge of field. So square leg going down to iron leg, long leg, Ben Stokes and Rashid from mid-wicket inside the circle. Played.
Just popping back to the White Ferns for a second, Dolly, in my role that I have with New Zealand cricket. I'm sure I'm allowed to say that all of the rest of the matches are live streamed on New Zealand Cricket's website. So that starts from tomorrow and then Thursday. So please feel free to hop over and have a look at those matches.
Got 5 for 1.